Welcome to on this day today being the 22nd of February. So what we do here is we take time from history, we have a look at it, a certain date, we'll look at some births, some deaths, what happened, and we got some fun facts. And today's fun facts are about the Ukraine. Hope they're all well there. Anyway, so to start with, born in 1732 was the USA's first president, George Washington. He was the commander-in-chief of the Continental Army, and he was born in Westmoreland, Virginia. He died in 1799. In 1957, Robert Baden-Powell, the British officer and founder of the modern scouting movement, was born in Paddington in London. He died in 1941. And in 1962, Steve Irwin, him off of The Crocodile Hunter, was born. He was a naturalist and massive TV personality. And as The Crocodile Hunter was born in Melbourne in Victoria. He died in 2006 by a stingray, of all things, that could have killed him. Famous deaths from this year: 1943, Hans Scholl, German resistance fighter with the Red Rose, was beheaded for treason at the age of 24. How dare he go up against those fucking Nazis. In 1987, Andy Warhol, American pop artist and film producer for Frankenstein and Bad, dies of a heart attack at the age of 58. And in 1996, Helmut Schön, the German football coach, he was the manager of West Germany between 1964 and 1978, famously manager for the West Germans, and they lost to England in '66. He also won the World Cup in 1947. He died at the age of 80. Things that have happened on this day in history: in 1495, French King Charles VIII enters Naples and claims their crown. In 1634, Galileo's dialogue concerning the two chief world systems is published. In 1968, New Amsterdam granted a Jewish burial site. In 1775, Jews expelled from the outskirts of Warsaw, Poland. In 1797, the last invasion of Britain, launched by the French during the Revolutionary Wars, begins near Fishguard in Wales. Odd name for a town, that. Fishguard. How do you guard a fish? Surely they don't see. In 1920, the first artificial rabbit used as a dog track was in Emeryville in California. It's a little thing that the dogs chase. In 1928, the first solo flight from England to Australia lands in Darwin, 15 and a half days after takeoff, piloted by Australian aviator Bert Hinkler. In 1935, airplanes are no longer permitted to fly over the White House. Like, why were they ever really allowed to fly over the White House? I don't know. In 1941, Nazi police raid Amsterdam and round up 129 young Jews for deportation to be sent to Buchenwald and Mannerstein concentration camps. And I imagine they didn't have much of a life left after that. Sadly, in 1942, the official IRA bombed the shot military barracks and headquarters of the British Parachute Regiment. This is 7 people killed in this, and this is thought to be retaliation for what happened on Bloody Sunday. In 1989, police physicists, let me start that again. And it was nothing like I was going to say. In 1989, UK physicist Stephen Hawking calls the proposed missile defense system known as Star Wars as a deliberate fraud. Basically, it wouldn't happen, but it couldn't happen. In 1997, Dolly the sheep, the world's first cloned mammal from an adult cell, is announced by the Rosalind Institute in Scotland. The thing with that is they're cloning something basically that they all look pretty much the same. In 2006, at least 6 men staged Britain's biggest robbery ever, stealing 33 million, or about $92.5 million, all €178 million from a secure test depot in Tunbridge in Wales, in Kent, sorry, not Wales. Where do I get Wales from? Probably think that's sheep. In 2011, an earthquake measuring 6.3 in magnitude strikes Christchurch in New Zealand, killing 181 people. In 2020, Portuguese superstar Cristiano Ronaldo marks his 100th senior appearance by scoring a Juventus' 2-1 win in the Serie A win over Espor. He had 725 career goals in 836 club games and 164 internationals. It was pretty good, is pretty good. In 2021, the US death toll from COVID passes 500,000, higher than the US death tolls in both World War I, World War II and the Vietnam War combined. US President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris hold a candlelit ceremony in the mark for 500,000 COVID-19 deaths outside of the White House. We must not grow numb. We must not grow numb to the sorrow. And in 2022, the US President Joe Biden announces new sanctions against Russia, saying its latest moves on the Ukraine amount to the beginning of a Russian invasion. So, fun facts today are about the Ukraine. Obviously, Ukraine is currently being invaded by Russia. Good luck to everyone. But some fun facts about the place anyway. A famous Tunnel of Love is located there. The Tunnel of Love is part of an industrial railway near Kleban, Ukraine. The enhancing natural train tunnel is surrounded by green arch formed by trees on both sides and a single track railway line. Its romantic setting attracts many couples to the place. According to local legend, couples who visit the place will have their wishes granted. Wow, how exciting. Ukraine is home to the most ghost towns. The deadliest nuclear disaster of all time, the Chernobyl disaster, happened in the Ukraine. The site where the disaster happened and its surrounding are located in the northern Ukraine as part of the Chernobyl exclusion zone. A number of abandoned towns like Pripyat are located there. Now, one thing I do hope is that neither side gets stupid and start attacking or burning the forests around there, because we will all be in trouble if they do. Ukraine has the world's second deadliest Sorry, let me start again. Ukraine has the second deepest subway station. The Arlena station of Kiev Metro is the world's second deepest station. It is located 346 feet below ground. I'm sure there's many people sleeping in there currently. Europe's oldest coffee house were located in Ukraine. Ukraine and Austria both claim credit for the invention of the European coffee shop. It is also believed that the Yuri Klukiz, I can't pronounce it, is a Ukrainian war hero, brewed the first cup of coffee in Vienna, Austria in 1680s. Today, the intense coffee culture of Ukraine is clearly visible in Lviv, a medieval city, and the country that is home to hundreds of coffee shops. Ukraine is the world's largest sunflower seed producer. Ukraine has vast tracts of land dedicated to the growth of sunflower plants. It's estimated that the total size of Ukraine's sunflower farmland could cover the entire territory of Slovenia. Pretty darn big. A land of castles, fortresses, domed churches, and ancient cities. Ukraine is historically and culturally very rich. It has 6 cultures and 1 natural UNESCO World Heritage Sites. Both of its cities have long histories and well-preserved historic centres. Beautiful churches dot the city. Ukraine also has many impressive castles and fortresses that reminds one of country's glorious past. The largest European country, although Russia is usually regarded as Europe's largest country, Ukraine is the largest one entirely within the continent. Ukraine has a total area of 603,628 square kilometers. Among the world's most literate countries, nearly 100% of Ukraine's adult population is literate. Only North Korea has such high literacy rates as Ukraine. It's known as the breadbasket of Europe. Vast tracts of arable land in Ukraine with fertile black soil made it an ideal place for growing wheat and other food crops. As such, it was nicknamed breadbasket of Europe. Today, Ukraine continues to be the largest producer of wheat in the world. And finally, the heaviest aircraft, the Antonov and AN-225 Mira, was built in Kiev, Ukraine. Whilst it was still part of the Soviet Union, whilst it was part of the Soviet Union, it has an empty weight of 285,000 kilograms and a wingspan of 88.4 meters. It is the heaviest aircraft ever built. It's also the largest wingspan of any functional aircraft, and I just about managed to get through that. Hope that made any sense to me. That was the 22nd of February. Hope everyone is well, especially you people off of the Ukraine and Russia, because not all the Russians well. But remember, it's the president demanding this. The troops just doing their job. Stay safe out there, people, and try not to kill anyone you don't need to. See you, pals.